everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Successful Woman's TV show. My name is Galit Ventura Rosen, and I am co-founder of Everyday Woman TV and a professional speaker. One of my favorite things to do in the whole world is interview women from all over the world that are doing what they love and making a difference in other women's lives and sometimes men. Today, I am excited to have with me our new guest, Alexandra Ponton. Welcome, Alexandra.
Oh, thank you very much, Galit. I am so excited to share with you all my experience, and also thank you very much for inviting me and to take into account Latin American women who are, as you said, making some differences in women's lives and also in some men.
Yes, for sure, for sure. One of the things I wanted to share before we got started, and I shared a little bit more about Alexandra and what she does and who she is that you may have noticed in the last two episodes that I changed my TV show name. I used to be the Successful Woman's Mindset TV show, and now I am the Successful Woman's TV show. And it's just a little change. It's always fun to rebrand as women. We like to do that often. So thank you for being a part of this, and let's go. Alexandra, we are going to share a little bit about you. So it looks like you are a certified, was it that you were a certified high school teacher with experience, or are you still now?
No, I am not a high school teacher, actually. I was certified in Peru when I live in Peru, and I work at Peru as a teacher too.
Oh, wow. I love that. So it says that in your bio. And it says that about 7 years ago, you became a coach and you support executive women on developing leadership skills and gaining empowerment in their careers and life. You love supporting Latina business women on gaining greater self-awareness and a positive mindset. You know, I love that. Clarity on what success looks like and the steps needed to achieve it. Development of critical soft skills and decision-making, accountability and growth, and teaching them and supporting them in increasing their individual performance, productivity, and confidence. I love that. And the topic we're going to be talking about today is one that's so important for women to learn, which is leveling up in your career. So thank you again. I would love it if we start with you just giving a brief description of what it means to level up in your career.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction, Galit. I also worked 18 years at the pharmaceutical industry when I was younger. And leveling up in your career means that you could grow in your career and achieve the goals that you want to in your career path. For example, if you want to be a director, if you want to be a CEO of a company, and also if you are a businesswoman, you could delegate some kind of things to other people and you manage your business and not being part of each small parts in the business. So that's leveling up in your career also means that you get confidence on you and you could raise your voice and your hand when you need. So that's, I could summarize that.
It's perfect. It's a perfect definition. Perfect. So we've got a few parts here. We've got the part of you're a business owner and it's time for you to level up and step into your power as a business owner and stop acting like an employee where you're trying to do everything yourself. I love that. I'm so big about delegating because you can't grow if you don't. But then the other part is for those women that are watching that are working for other people, which is great, but are really interested in understanding how they can maybe get a promotion or level up to the next level in the company that they're at. So why don't we start with a few tips that we can give those watching and listening about how they themselves can level up?
Well, I have 3 tips. The first one is increase leadership skills. And that means that you have to, for example, delegate. It's one leadership skill. Also, you have to manage, or I call work on your emotional agility inside the leadership skills. And I think that we could talk about that increased leadership skills.
Yes, I love that. So when we are increasing our leadership skills, we are now stepping into our own and recognizing that we could be an effective leader, right?
Yes, for example, self-awareness is one of the most important part of leadership,
True.
because you have to know yourself and know how you are going to act, or how you are going to respond to some kind of things. How do you are going to act when, for example, some of your employees or your people that you manage have a problem, or one of them, for example, just don't came and show up to the office, for example. How do you are going to act? And you have to know yourself that well, so you know how you are going to act when someone is going, or someone do something that you are not expecting to.
That's perfect. That's a perfect example, Alexandra, where as a leader, we need to recognize that reacting is not the right way to lead, and maybe stepping back, taking a deep breath, thinking about your thoughts, and really understanding what you're saying. Because as a leader, we are looked at as someone that's kind of got it together, don't we? Right?
Right. Yes, you said it's so right, because, for example, you need to breathe when you are going to say something, so you know what you are going to say, and not just act at
Yes.
your first.
Not act from emotion. One of the words you
Yes.
used was emotional agility, I think you said. It was
Yes.
perfect. Really tapping into your emotion. Okay, so what's tip 2?
Yes, the tip 2 is, even as that sometimes we as women don't like to do that, it's networking.
Yes.
It's a very, very important part of leveling up in our careers, because
True.
you have to network inside and outside the company.
Very true. Very true. And it's funny because as women, sometimes we are more comfortable staying behind our computer, staying in the office, and don't recognize that we need to get out there in our communities, and we really need to connect with people. And of course, today, Alexandra is a perfect example. She's in Mexico City. I've never met her in person. We network, we talk, we've connected. She's part of some of our programs, our mastermind, and this is also a way to network, ladies. So it's not just getting out into the community, but now you have the world at your fingertips, and you're able to connect with other people from all over the world. So get out there. I like to do both, Alexandra. I like to go to my meetings every month. I'm part of an organization. We have lunches every month. I network in person. I set up my coffees and my teas with different women that live in Vegas. But then I also like to do this where I get to meet on Zoom or interview women like you to network as well. So we've got networking. We've got leadership skills. What's our third tip?
The third tip is raise your voice when you need. Raise your voice, say the things that you have to say. And also, women are so very important in directories, for example, because we have our heart. We leader with our heart.
It's true.
So raise your voice with your heart is very important to a directory, for example, because we are always thinking on the other person. We as women think on the other.
That's true.
biologically
We do.
we are made to take care of others.
It's true.
That's why we could be moms.
Yeah,
It's
caregivers, caretakers, even women that are not moms, there's like this DNA in us,
yes,
right?
yes.
That we
I
want
am
to take
not the
care of.
mom, but
There you go.
I
And you
want to
still
care.
are. Yeah,
Yes, I want to
you're
care
a perfect
about
example.
other people. So I am a coach because of that, because I
Yeah.
want to talk with other people. I
You
want
want to take care of the world. Right, Alexandra?
right.
All right. So let's talk about this third one for a second, because I think it's so important. When we use our voice and we stand in our power, we are now saying what we believe in or what our opinion is, but we can do it in a kind way. We can do it, right, Alexandra? We can go back to tip one, where we're stepping into our emotion, we're stepping back, but we are using our voice. And so I love that. I think that's such an important piece. And when you say that we're caretakers and givers, do you think that holds us back from using our voice?
Yes, sometimes
Yeah.
it holds us back because we are thinking if the other person, what the other person is going to think about me, what others are going to tell about me. So we hold back on raising our own voice. I am not saying that you have to shout or
No, no.
no, but you could raise your voice and let others know about your thinking with your heart, with your emotions also, because we as women are made by more emotions than men. So it is important to notice that in a directory, it is very important the mathematical kind of thinking from men and the emotions of a women of women. So we have to raise our voice as women to say what we are thinking, to I don't know how to say it, to give to the directory and to the company the things that we know in
Yeah,
the way that we as women could give to the companies that we work
absolutely.
for.
Yeah.
It's not easy for me to say that, because when I was working at the pharma industry, most of the time mm, I hold back my thinking. But actually, as a coach and as a teacher, I learned to raise my voice, because as a teacher, was I was teaching my students how do they need to raise their voices. So I learned in the past 7 or 10 years how to raise my voice. It's
Yeah.
not easy to do, but we have to do to level up in our careers.
So I have a question for you. How do you say raise your voice in Spanish?
Levantar la voz.
Levantar la voz. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Beautiful. So, as someone that's bilingual myself, I speak 2 languages as well. I will share that sometimes when we translate, it's a little different. So, I wanted you to say it in Spanish for those women that are listening, because we have a lot of watchers, viewers, and listeners that speak Spanish. And I want them to really understand what you were saying. For English, when I hear raise your voice, I hear stand in your power and stand in the power of your voice. So obviously, Alexandra said, I don't mean scream and shout. I mean, please use your voice to benefit your company, to benefit you, to benefit what you know, because you have so much to share and so much to say that when you're silent, you are now doing a disservice to those that are around you. So I wanted to clear that, because I love.
Yes, that I have to say something on that,
Please.
because you said sometimes it's difficult to raise your voice, but it's, if you think I am serving with this, I am
Yes.
serving the company, I am serving the employees, I am serving myself, then the mind is thinks different.
Absolutely. I love that, Alexandra. That was a great, great example to share. So thank you so much for sharing your expertise, for sharing the 3 tips about leveling up in your career. And what I would love for you to do before we say goodbye is if you could share with everybody how they can learn more about working with you. I know you love working with women that own their own business and are also executives in companies. How can they get a hold of you and learn more about working with you?
Okay, you could reach me on LinkedIn, Alexandra Ponton. You could find me there. Also, I have a podcast. It's in Spanish, but you could
I love
find
that.
my podcast at Instagram, All for Women Podcast. But my main social media is LinkedIn. I think so that you could reach me on LinkedIn. Also, I have a web page. Soon it's going to be in Spanish and English. Actually, it's in Spanish. So it's www.alexandraponton.com.
And Alexandra, just so you know, when I went to your website, it gives us an option in English-speaking countries to hit translate.
Good.
And it allowed me to read it in English. So we can still read it in English. Yeah. Whatever country you're in, the IP address knows, and then it gives you an option usually to translate, which is so nice with the internet.
Nice.
I know, right? Thank
Yes.
you. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, Alexandra. I adore you. I'm so glad that we have you in our community and I get to keep knowing you more and more. Thank you for sharing your expertise. Everybody that's watching and listening, please take the time to reach out to Alexandra, learn more about what she does. If you feel called, reach out to her to work with her. She's been doing this for quite some time and has quite a bit of experience. And I appreciate you for watching and listening the Successful Women's TV show. My name is Galit Ventura Rosen, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Galit.